Hello, everybody. Welcome to another version of Bill Roden on Sports Bros Pod. I'm here, undisclosed location, upstate New York, and on a very busy. It's our time of year, man. This is like a lot of sports. I'm here, and we got a lot on our menu. That's an allusion to last podcast we had Chef Tommy on our
Yes.
show. So we're talking about menus. Jamal, you holding it down in Brooklyn? You got your B on, I see. Your Brooklyn,
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn
Brooklyn
Dodgers.
Dodgers. Drove by Ebbets Field the other day,
Is
which
that
is
what
an you
what
know,
what
which is it's an
what is
apartment
that?
building.
What's there?
It's an apartment building.
An apartment building.
Yeah, for the longest time it's been an apartment building. But they do still have the wall, like the outfield wall is still in the front of the apartment building and it says Ebbets Field on it. So
Oh, okay.
Crown Heights.
Crown Ice. Yeah. So, there used to be a baseball franchise in Queens called the Mets, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that a little later. But you know, the big news, I'm always about the story, and to me, the only story in Cleveland is Shador Sanders, and
Not the Cleveland Indians in the MLB playoffs, Bill.
we can talk about that too. Well, you know, yeah, I mean, yeah,
Nah, I hear you though. I hear you.
hey,
Football rules.
yeah, football. I mean, listen, I realized, and probably realized it for a few years, I'm really only about the playoffs. You know, NBA way too long. I mean, way too long. I get interested during the playoffs. The All Star game is a waste. Um, but I think the NBA has the best player. But baseball too, way too long. But the baseball playoffs are great. I mean, any best of I think is great. So I'm very excited about the baseball play. Although there will be no Mets and the Yankees. By the time this goes up, Yankees may be eliminated too. So it'll be no baseball in New York. But I started off talking about Cleveland, man. So what do you think, man? The Browns announced that Joe Flacco is not going to start, and he is going to be he's going to be replaced in the lineup by Dylan Gabriel, the rookie. So of course, what do you think about that?
I mean, I think and I would say for our purposes, but I
Right,
mean, it seems like everybody's purposes, like
right,
the way people are talking about it, is really just means that Shador Sanders is
right.
one step closer,
To this, right,
supposedly, even though technically he's still the third string quarterback coming into next week or this week. So if something happens to Gabriel, he doesn't play well, it's probably Joe Flacco who comes in.
but he's going to be
Um,
terrible.
Right. I mean, and we knew that coming into the season that Joe Flacco wouldn't be long for the job. But we'll see. So we'll see what happens with Dylan Gabriel. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people out there rooting for him. A lot of people out there rooting against him. So there'll be a lot of there'll be a lot of eyes on Dylan Gabriel. From what I saw in the preseason, he looked pretty solid. He's small for the position, but he's not alone. There are a few small quarterbacks out there. But he seemed
He's,
very accurate,
he's competent.
through on time, as they say.
Right.
But we'll see. He has a tough task against Flores and that
Oh my God.
Minnesota blitzing defense.
He may not,
So he'll be
he may
tested
not
right
come
away.
back from England.
That's right. That's right. So we shall see that. Cleveland has a great defense, so it gives them a chance. If they can
Right.
get some decent quarterback play, they'll have a chance. But I find it hard to believe that he'll be much better than Flacco, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Well, they say he can move, although that's not his. It's not like he's your boy, just Jackson
Oh,
Dart, where Dart's whole thing largely is running.
well, at least that's what it looked like, from the
Right.
first game.
Right.
Yeah, he's no Jackson Dart. I don't think in terms of being a mobile quarterback. His thing is getting the ball out quick,
Right.
and we'll see.
Was
And
that,
they don't have that. It's not like they have that many receiving weapons either. So
right? One receiver is hurt. Judy
yeah,
is
Judy,
underperforming.
right?
You know.
Well,
So yeah,
probably because of Flacco, to be honest.
yeah,
It's not like he's getting all these chances.
yeah. So, but like you said, for our purposes, which is the only purpose that matters,
Right, of
it is
course.
that moves Shador Sanders closer to the steering wheel. And
Right.
I predict by Thanksgiving, we'll be flying out to Cleveland, you
Uh,
know, for like the
cold ass Cleveland.
yeah, I know that. Only problem, Thanksgiving, Cleveland, freezing, and that stadium is right on the water, so it's going to be brutal.
So what's that? Thanksgiving. What week would that be about? What week is
Uh,
Thanksgiving?
let me see.
That's November, late November. So you got about basically 2 months, a little less than 2 months.
When is Thanksgiving? November,
November 20, late 20s,
is it like it's
25th,
Thursday
26th.
the 27th?
Yeah,
So
something
if
like
it's
that.
Thursday the 27th and today is October 1st, so you're really talking about uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 weeks.
So that's like 12, week 12, 11, 12.
Yeah.
Should
So by that time, and it's probably just about right because by that time, everybody in Cleveland will be ready to jump off a bridge
right. Yeah,
because
they'll be
they
way
know,
out of it.
right, they're out of it. They can't go with Flacco. Gabriel, if he's still around, if he's not chewed up by then, they may be begging for Shador. And my thing with Shador, hey, clearly is a good story for us just
Right.
because of whatever. But the one thing that they're lacking, I mean, that's what the Giants. Remember, the Giants. Everybody wanted Dart because not just because he's the white hope, but because they needed a spark. They just needed some hope. And I think with Cleveland, by the time they bring in Shador, it'll be hope. And I'm sure he's going to be all over the place. One play gains 30 yards on a scramble, next play pick six,
Yep.
next play a bomb. He scrambles and runs around and
Right.
hits somebody for touch. The fans will just be ah,
Right.
But
Right.
there hasn't been anything. There hasn't been any of that kind of emotion, and we do know from Shador, if nothing else, there'll be some emotion and all that. Now, is that sustainable? I don't know, but it'll get us. It'll get us through, you know, November. It'll
Yeah.
be an exciting story.
And then that's in November, Thanksgiving is kind of late. We think about it, week 12, week 13, whatever that is.
Right.
It might happen before that. Where week 4, that would if Gabriel lasts that long, like 7, 8 weeks, he's probably he might be doing okay. But
Yeah. It'll be
we'll
tough.
see.
Yeah.
Injuries happen, and all kind of things, man.
Everybody. I don't know the numbers. I mean, that's not on Bros Pod. We are not necessarily wet the numbers. We're very generalist here. But all we know is that there have been a bunch of different starting quarterbacks
Right,
this
right.
season.
That's right.
And they talk about Gabriel and height, all that. I mean, I think that I don't know how much punishment he can take. I mean, I don't know how much fun. I mean, that moves into our next thing. I mean, Lamar's hurt.
Right, right.
Lamar Jackson's hurt. Um, so, are we done talking about Shador? I mean, that's way down the line. But
Yeah, I mean, I did. It's what does Shador do? What should his mind state be? Like we already said, he's not the backup even now. He's still not the backup.
still 3.
Yeah, he's 3, but it does send a message. I mean, he has to get himself ready. He's got to be ready.
Right.
He's got to put himself in a position where he is the backup. We don't know what's going on in practice or how the team really views him right now. But you got to assume that they want to give both of those young quarterbacks a shot to see what they have before the draft.
Right. Right. Meanwhile, how's Arch Manning doing? Everybody's talking about Arch Manning. I mean, is he decided he's going to stay in school?
Well, he said before the season started that he was going to stay in school. That he was going to stay in school. He had no intentions of coming out, or at least that's what his grandfather said.
right.
Not
Yeah, well, and Arch said, "Wait a minute,
yeah,
old man."
Archie. Yeah, Archie Manning said he's not coming out. So don't even think about it. Like he's staying the 4 years or whatever. And the way he looked that first game, that sounds about right.
He should.
And then he hasn't looked much better against the lesser competition. I mean, obviously Texas has won big, but his numbers have been just okay. So we won't know until he starts playing, SEC competition again, which is probably starts this week. So we'll see
Yeah,
how he
so
looks.
we'll see. I
But
guess
also,
that's exciting.
but even speaking on that, like the preseason, everybody was talking about the Clemson quarterback, Klubnik, was top 5. They said the LSU quarterback was supposed to be top 5. They said the Penn State quarterback was supposed to be top 5. And I watched those 3 teams over the past couple of weeks, and those
Yeah,
quarterbacks look like trash to me. At
right,
least, definitely not top 5. So
right.
we don't know what that landscape's going to look like.
Who do we need? Maybe next week, since we're trying to stay ahead of the competition, we've already set the mold with our black quarterback rankings, and
Yes.
our people have copied that.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to do the up and coming black quarterback rankings coming into the league.
That's a good point.
Who they are,
Yeah.
so we can always bros pod as we believe in staying a step ahead of the competition. Right?
Yeah. I'll start getting my college scouting on, Bill.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, because that's your forte, man. You do a whole podcast about next up next.
Right.
So you're supposed to know who's up next.
That's true. That's
Come on,
true.
Jamal. Up
That's
next.
true.
Tell us who's up next.
That's true. Someone gave me a tip to watch the Arkansas quarterback, and I did that, and he looked good. But then they played Notre Dame and lost and got blown out last week. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's going on.
Notre Dame. We have to figure out. I haven't really checked out Notre Dame since the championship game when they got blown out by Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, they lost. They played a tough schedule early on. They lost two games early in the season to Miami, who's like the number 2 team in the country, and then they lost to another good team. It's slipping my mind right now, but they look good against Arkansas, against an SEC team. I think they won something like 42-3 or something, or 38-3.
So much for that, brother. But yeah, man, next week, Jamal, you got to do up next.
Yeah,
black quarterbacks to watch.
I'll get on it.
Right. So what are you thinking of Lamar being hurt, man? They're 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's getting hurt.
Right.
And now Lamar's hurt. They've not looked good. I mean, they look really good against Buffalo.
Right.
They got a pummeling in Kansas City, which I'm not that surprised because, Lamar, I mean, what's his name? Pat Mahomes, man, he's just all up in Lamar's head, I mean,
right.
on a good day, a good day. So
the defensive coordinator Spagnuolo, he seems to have Lamar's number. Like they know when to blitz him. They kind of know how to play him, confuse him a little bit. So yeah, and then of course Mahomes. I'm sure that's in his head. But yeah, they killed him. I was expecting a much different game than that, and really Lamar got hurt. The game was over already.
Right. And now some people were ripping him because either he didn't come back in the game or something. People are always poor Lamar. I mean, not poor realistically, but just figuratively. People always like on Lamar. It's almost like even the people who are cheering him, they kind of cheering him, gritting their teeth, just waiting until something happens.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately, invariably, it does.
But that might be a black quarterback thing, Bill.
Yeah, no, that's actually true because I kind of monitor that stuff. Whenever they talk about black quarterbacks, and I'm talking about the white mainstream press, particularly on radio, because I listen to a lot of radio. Every black quarterback is always kind of, yeah, but and then don't let them screw up. Well, that's what we're talking about. See, that's exactly, And I was hearing somebody, they actually gushed it out. They were talking about, they bring up statistics about, did you know that running quarterbacks get sacked at a higher rate than people in the pocket? And that's just ongoing undercurrent of this whole thing.
Do they say that about Josh Allen also?
Well, Josh, he's a little more different. But it's such a naked undercurrent of these people that, and I guess that's the climate that we're in. Let's get back to the 50s. Let's make America great again. Let's make the United States, let's make the NFL. Let's make the NFL great again. Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow. Please get well, Joe Burrow. Who else? Matt Stafford. All these guys are good, obviously.
Right.
you know. But I think this whole idea of, I mean, even as Anscape, we started doing this year 16 of the 32 quarterbacks in the NFL are black. The only problem with that, like people were like, "Wait, whoa, how do we let that happen?" You know, and all of a sudden there's this search. There's this more intense, what do you call it? Intentional search for like the
Hmm.
great white hope. I mean, in every phase,
Right.
every
Right. Think about it. Think about how it is in basketball. So
yeah,
now, yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. Like now, like you said, there's going to be an intentional uh, yearning for the white quarterback to stay to keep that position.
right,
To keep at least, and especially the top position, to be the best at the
right,
position. You
right.
know.
Yeah, and that's because in every at a time when black accomplishments is under attack, particularly highly visible acts of not accomplishment, stardom, you know, and if when you start talking about 16 to 32 black quarterbacks, and some people predicting in another 5 years it'll be 32 of 32, and oh hell no,
Right.
so
Exactly. Exactly.
so we'll see. But Lamar's hurt, but
Yeah, Lamar. I mean, Lamar with the hamstring, like you said, 1-3. Now they got Cooper Rush as the backup. So when he comes back in a couple weeks, are they going to be 1-5?
don't let them win. I mean, what happens if all of a sudden they go on a winning streak? Well,
I don't think Cooper Rush is keeping that job. I don't know. No matter what, they're not. They can't be that blatant with it, Bill. They can't be. They can't do it.
don't never say never.
I mean, Lamar's numbers are still ridiculous. I think he has the all-time highest passer rating in NFL
Yeah, but
history.
he just runs around all the time. The guy's running around.
Well, he's turned it. You remember when he first came in, and not just when he first came in. Like for the first 5 or 6 years, people
Right,
said he couldn't pass. Right? He couldn't read the field. They love that's a black quarterback stigma.
right,
He
right.
couldn't. He
You
can't
can't process.
read the defense.
Right. You
Slow
can't
reading the
read.
defense. You got to cut the field in half for the black quarterback.
Right,
Make him roll out so he
right,
only has to read half the field. Like
right.
that's a narrative, and I've never heard that about a white quarterback, no matter how bad they were. I've never heard someone say, "Oh well, he can't read the defense." Like that. Like
Right.
it's always something else.
Right. Well, he's just not as athletic. Because I mean, well, he's just born that way. What can he? We can't do anything about that.
So I challenge people. I challenge my fellow people, my fellow brothers and sisters, my fellow people in general. If you're talking football and quarterbacks, and you hear someone say about a black quarterback, oh well, he just can't read the defense. It could be. Trust me, it comes from other black people too.
Right.
Like I have this conversation with black people. Oh, he can't read the defense. And my thing now is what I say is, well, are there any white quarterbacks that you would say that about, that you don't think can read a defense? And they'll force themselves to come up with it. They're like, well, I haven't thought about it, but Daniel Jones.
Although he's having a hell of a year.
Oh, he's good now. Or they'll say Zach Wilson. I'm like, come on, the worst quarterback in the league, really,
in the history of football. Which now brings us to your guy. Well, brings us first to Dart. I had to be at the stadium last Sunday for Dart. I was, we were texting, man, up to the very end. Are we going to go to the Jackson Dart whole thing? And I'm like,
coronation.
I said, oh man, do I really want to be part of that? I mean, just a whole. Do I really want to go that? I mean, ain't no telling what kind of flags they're gonna have up flying in the parking lot. So at the last minute, I was like driving around, and literally I'm going back and forth as I'm like driving to things. Finally, I hit my GPS. I said, okay, lot M, and I got there and went there, and I guess it's kind of my duty. I said, well, since I've been writing these stories about the black quarterback and Russell Wilson and the backups and all that, I might as well go. So I went, and of course, the Chargers, because I figured, well, the Chargers, great defense. Of course, as we were texting back and forth, the Chargers chose Sunday as the worst performance under Harbaugh. I mean, it's terrible. It's
And
almost,
it looked like Herbert could not read a defense
yeah,
that
right,
Sunday.
right.
That's how
Well,
he played.
because those right, and then right the lineman, what's the name? The
Joe
alt,
Alt. Yep.
who alt got hurt.
Yeah. No,
I was like,
they played terribly.
yeah, it was awful, man. The defense and Dart, of course, look, not he was done, but he ran the first drive.
Yeah.
The first
He was
drive,
running around out there.
Yeah, but
Even
now
even
they don't say he's running around and well, man, that guy's he's the infusion of excitement.
but
That's
he did do a black dance, a
I know.
touchdown dance there.
I'm like, what? Well, this boy has
So
lost
he
his mind.
appreciates black culture, Bill.
Right, right. Oh, unbelievable. I saw that. I said, what? Is nothing sacred?
Nothing is no, nothing is
He
sacred.
did like the
No.
little Charleston,
Hey,
like
it's his now. It's his now, Bill. He
I know.
invented that.
They're gonna call it the Dart something.
Oh man, so yeah, but then the sad part is the Russell Wilson angle, and
Oh yeah.
Dart's out there and Russell Wilson. I think you texted me. What's because you're at the game. You're like, are they showing Russell Wilson?
Right.
I start paying attention, and then the first thing I see is they show him, and his helmet is on tight, strapped up, ready to go. He's not on a clipboard or the headset or nothing. He has the helmet on tight, ready to play.
He's ready to play. And then Dart had to go out after one run. He under concussion protocol, and then Russell dashed out. It was like I was like, damn, man. And then but both plays were like bad plays, and the fans you could just hear it's like we went up. Oh, brother. And then the first play, he got sacked. And then the second play, it was incomplete play. And then finally, they said, okay, all right, just kidding. He's fine, Doc. Is he fine? Get him out of that blue tent.
Right. Oh man. So yeah, I feel bad for Russell a little bit. And then it's like you said, Tommy Vincent, who we had on, and she kind of brought it to light, thinking about treating players as human beings and the things that go on behind the scenes. She's the wife of Tommy Vincent, of Troy Vincent, so she knows what it's like to be in the household of an NFL player, getting scrutiny and all that kind of stuff. And then when you think about Russ in particular, he's married he has a famous wife, and
right.
now it's like everybody's like, you're married to a bum, and he doesn't even start. So all this stuff. He has kids. He got kids.
They're going to school getting teased. Your dad can't even play.
It's rough out here.
My dad told my dad told your dad will never get to play again.
He said my dad said your dad's washed up.
It's not funny, but it's like, and I think Tommy Vincent made a great point in that we treat, because they're making a lot of money,
right?
And we do too. They're getting paid,
right?
They're getting paid to take that kind of thing, but it's still you're working as public. You're like publicly benched, and you got to like walk around and all that. So you can't walk around and say, "Hey man, I'm going to be in the Hall of Fame." They say, yeah, well, maybe, but right now, and it seems like the only person who doesn't have that pressure is Jameis Winston. He's like, all good.
He doesn't have a care in the world.
Not a care in the world.
Even when he's on the field. So.
Yeah, that's a problem too. Yeah. So, so Russ, do you think he should go to Cincinnati? I think you say he should.
If Cincinnati called and they want to give up like a 5th round pick and they ask Russell, like, we're trying to do right by you, is this something you would want? I think he should jump with it. Especially we've talked about like his, I hate when we talk about guys' legacies when they're still playing.
Right.
But, you mentioned he might be a Hall of Famer. I mean, you want to cement stuff like that. You give him 2 great wide receivers, Higgins and Chase, and at least on paper, like who knows? It may not work out there either for Russ, but at least I would assume he would want the shot,
right?
To try to show he could still play, especially with weapons.
Yeah, with 2 great weapons. We'll see, but I mean, this will be his Seattle. then Denver,
Yeah.
then Pittsburgh. Now the Jets. I mean the Giants.
Yep.
Then that'll be Cincinnati will be his 5th team.
And really, it's more about Cincinnati needing like a some kind of competent quarterback, because
Yeah.
I don't think they have it in Browning.
No,
And do they just want to just give up on the entire
maybe they
season
just
without
want
trying
to tank.
something?
Well, yeah, Cincinnati's always, and then they're talking about the kid, the guy from Atlanta. What's his name?
Oh, Cousins. Yeah.
Cousins.
But Cousins will cost more
Yeah.
than Russ.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And Cincinnati is notoriously cheap.
Right.
Oh, we'll take Russ. We'll give him, give Russ a shot.
Right. Give him
And Russ will
pennies.
probably take it. I wonder what that would do. Whether the Giants would then get, maybe they bring Danny, what's the name back?
Yeah, Danny DeVito, because I don't think anybody else signed him. They bring Danny DeVito back.
Yeah. So, but yeah, but again, these guys, Dart had he had a good debut, and that the team won. No interceptions.
Right.
He got banged up, and he just has to be careful about the whole running thing, because you will get destroyed.
Yeah, in fairness, he played well. Like, he played well, ran the ball well. He was going crazy. Remember he tried to give the guy a stiff arm. Like, he tried to wind up and give a guy a stiff arm, and then he's hurt right after that. So yeah, he needs to relax, understand,
tone it down.
Like, don't get too, don't let the crowd boost you up too much.
Right.
But he showed he had a strong arm. He didn't make any bad passes that I can remember.
Yeah, he played well. Good. He played well, and you can see the difference. I mean, he brought the energy and the spark and all that. So that's one game.
Right.
And now we'll see.
Right.
Just like we'll see. We'll see what happens in London. With young Dylan Gabriel.
Right.
Going against what's the name's defense in Minnesota.
Flores. Yep.
Yeah. They say Flores he got the news when he was in his hotel room that they're going to be starting this rookie. He's like, what?
It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful.
Oh, you're going to start from me, huh? Okay. All right. You ain't no Aaron Rodgers, I'll tell you that.
Right.
So we'll see. Well, that'll be, interesting. Speaking of controversy, so what about the Jets lose again?
Yes.
I know this is your, you try not to be a fan, but you are. And you're also, you and my brother, in terms of Justin Fields. Now, you say he didn't play terribly. I mean, he made a great run.
Right. But, I mean, first, here's the thing with Justin Fields. First, let's talk about the game, okay? He comes out, and the Jets themselves are acting like they don't believe in him. Right. Like the coaching staff, because they're running like the Nebraska 1985 offense, the wishbone or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't pass the ball, right? It's like we're gonna run the ball, we get 3 yards, 2nd and 7. Then we're gonna run the ball again, stop, 3rd and 7. Oh, guess what? We're gonna run it in 3rd down too.
This is four down territory.
And then man, or they run it the first 2 plays, 3rd and 9, and they're like, okay, now pass. Like we haven't asked you to pass all game, but pass now. So I'm like, either you trust him or don't. Either come up with a game plan where he's a real quarterback, or don't, or have somebody else be quarterback. Like what's the point? Like Tyrod Taylor, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like that's your backup. Like, let the kid play. Because I would rather, they did. Okay, remember the first game against Pittsburgh? He played. I mean, they kind of opened up the offense. He had great numbers.
Well. He played well.
Then against Buffalo, they do this thing where they're just running the ball. They want to run ground and pound, and then they ask him to throw on third and long, and he looked terrible. He did look terrible, right? He's missing guys. But when you look at the stats, like he threw 11 times. Like he was like 3 for 11. You're telling a quarterback to throw 11 times in 2025? Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, let him play. So then this game, they do the same thing, and they're, where they're running the ball. And then when they get down, they let him open it up, and he ends up 20 for 27, 200 yards, threw a touchdown to Garrett Wilson. He runs for that touchdown.
What's your argument, Jamal?
My argument is let him play. Will he make some mistakes? Yes. but he's shown that he's at least a decent quarterback. Like I would rather you have a guy who has like 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 2 touchdowns, even 2 interceptions, than 0 and 0 because you're trying to be conservative. Like you're scared he's going to throw an interception, so you don't let him throw it all. You got all these guys across the league. They're getting 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Like, yes, he will make some mistakes, but he will also make some big plays. So let him play. That's my argument.
Okay, all right. An impassioned argument by Jamal Murphy.
Now, because you look at, I was on Twitter watching the game, and from the very start of the game, everybody just hates. He's the worst quarterback ever. Like, oh, he's the worst. I told you. I knew he wasn't going to be anything when he came out of Ohio State. He's terrible. Oh my God, he's the worst quarterback in the NFL. I'm like, who are they talking about? Jamarcus Russell? Like, what the? Like, it's not like he's been like terrible, you know. I mean,
so
like,
why
I don't understand where the hate comes from.
Why don't you think people like Justin Fields?
I don't know.
He's a nice kid. He's a great kid.
He's a very nice kid. Now, even me, I don't know whether he's like a winning quarterback. I'll give you that. Like, you know, obviously he's never won, but he's been in bad situations. But he's also like a laid back. He doesn't, you know, kind of what you want in your quarterback is a leader, like a tough guy leader, right?
Like Jackson Dart.
That's going to lead you to the win, inspire teammates. And I'll give you that Justin Fields doesn't come off that way. So maybe people are just like, they don't, I don't know. They just don't, they definitely don't believe in him. But it goes beyond that. I think it's like they don't like it, you know, and he's like the nicest guy.
Yeah. Well, but you know, all you got to do is win a few games.
That's true. Well,
you know,
good luck.
Well, win one game.
Because the Jets, that was my issue. Like I'm reading all this stuff. Oh, Justin Fields, they're never going to win with him. I'm like, you looked at that game and you're blaming Justin Fields when the team had like 15 turnovers. Right. Every mistake they could have made, they made.
Well, from the very beginning, the guy scores. Allen's in the end zone.
In the end zone. Then the start of the second half, they already cut a guy, the last returner, for fumbling. Mm-hmm. This guy, first play of the second half, fumbles. Then later in the second half, he's fair catch, and he's like at the 2-yard line.
Come on, Aaron. You got to coach these guys up. I mean, that's not Aaron Glenn's fault, but
is it or not? But I'm worried about Aaron Glenn too. Like I get it. You got to give him time, right? It's only 4 games. You can't.
4 games in New York is like dog years. 4 games in New York is like 2 seasons.
Right.
You know, and people are not patient.
And only 2 coaches ever, besides him, in Jets history, have started 0-4. It was, remember, Gase, and I think it was Lou Holtz.
It also had to be Rich Kotite.
Well, but it wasn't his first year when he did that. I don't think. That's the thing. Because he was like 0-16.
0-16, which is like.
I thought Rich Kotite too. I was like, where is his name? But it must not have been his rookie year.
Remember they used to practice at Hofstra, right. And I would go out there. It was one of the days we go out there, and it was like, man, just to go. And it's almost like you went out there because it was just like, who can we kick today? I mean, it was just like. It was unfair to go out there just to kill him. And Rich Coach had week after week, you know, I mean, it was like terrible.
Well, terrible. Aaron Glenn better be careful because he would be, if they lose to Dallas, they have the home game versus Dallas coming up Sunday, which I don't know if you're going to go to that one, Bill.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned. Are you going to that one?
Yeah, I'll go.
I think you have to go. You have to. Yeah. Now, I'm now, me being, I'm jumping to the WNBA playoffs. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be at the WNBA playoffs between the Phoenix Mercury and the Las Vegas Aces.
When does that start?
It starts Friday, but I'm going to go to game 2.
Okay.
Which will be Sunday.
In Phoenix?
In Phoenix. So it starts in Las Vegas.
It starts in Vegas, so they had the better record.
Yeah, okay. So it'll be good. And the Aces, you know, very compelling team. I mean, they were upset last year by the Liberty.
Right.
Who got knocked out and then immediately fired their coach, you know, which is bizarre. So you know, are you finished protecting Fields?
I'm done for now.
Okay.
Give me for 5 minutes.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, with Dallas, I
Well,
mean,
Dak's looking good.
Dak is playing great.
They're only like what 1-2-1, I think, but he's looking
Yeah,
good.
but Dak is really playing. It's so funny. Jerry came out and said Dak was irreplaceable.
Yeah, okay.
Unlike number 11, unlike the guy he traded.
Yeah, I got an analogy for that one, but I'm gonna leave it alone. I got a plantation analogy for
Uh-oh.
that, but I'll leave it alone.
That's what I thought you meant. No plantation metaphors on this show. Oh, we're in the plantation. We love the plantation. Where he said, "Oh, it wasn't that bad." Geez, that
No,
he said,
but yeah, so Dallas could. So, but if the Jets lose to Dallas, Aaron Glenn would be the first 0-5 coach in Jets history. How about that?
"Wow, wow." The only thing is, that
Or rookie coach. Sorry.
for a rookie coach, wow. Well, what can you say, man? I mean, just win Dallas. That's going to be a tough game. I mean, they're all tough
Yeah,
games.
right.
They're
They're
all
all
tough
tough
games.
games.
I
They're
mean,
all
like
tough games.
who we talk about, every single game, every single quarter is tough. Aaron, I guess he had the same thing when he went to Detroit. Remember when Campbell's first year, Detroit was terrible.
Yeah, like one. I think they were 1-15, 1-16, whatever it was.
So I guess it's too bad you just can't wake up and the nightmare is over. You have to live through it.
And I think Glenn was there for that. He was there for the 1-16 in Detroit. So
So I don't know, but then I guess you got to get your own players. You got to decide whether Fields is his guy or not, or is it Fields or is it people around him? He's got now in all seriousness, Fields threw a great pass to what's his wide receiver
Garrett Wilson.
Gary Wilson. I mean, it's great catch, great throw. That brought him to within a touchdown. So I think that Fields has a lot of talent, but you go to Chicago, the Bears, Pittsburgh. I thought was going to be better.
I mean, he was. I mean, and I got on Tomlin, and maybe they're right. Like because Tomlin did that too. He played really conservative when he had Fields in there, but they were 4-2, right?
Yeah.
And then he gets better. So it's not like he was failing in Pittsburgh.
Then he made the switch to
maybe he should have stayed. Maybe
well,
because remember Pittsburgh. They did. I don't know what kind of money they were talking about, but they did try to re-sign Fields, and they were going to let. They did not try to re-sign Russell Wilson,
right?
And then Fields goes to the Jets, and that's when they turn to Rodgers,
right.
So maybe he made the wrong decision. Maybe he should have stayed with Tomlin.
He should have stayed in Pittsburgh,
right?
Well, we'll never know. You're in New York now, so enjoy it. Enjoy the dough. Baseball playoffs. Do we care?
Not really, man. I mean, I'm a hypocrite because if the Mets were in, I would care.
Right.
But that just shows you how baseball is now. Baseball is just a very, regional game. Like if it's not your team, you don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I'm just looking around. I'm like saying, they're now discussing on Take Two. I guess Napheesa Collier calling out Commissioner Kathy Engelberg, which is good. I mean, it's good that you have that she started this kind of because you have the WNBA in the spotlight. The leadership, the commissioner, and it's good. It's good that she did call her out. You were telling me about Napheesa Collier. She's well respected. She's an accomplished player, and she really blasted the leadership of the commissioner. And we were talking about this before the show, and she even shrewdly placed all players, including Caitlin Clark, as part of the. He said the WNBA feels that they're successful despite the players, not because of the players, and they don't do well by players. And I thought to put Caitlin Clark as part of the group, not her versus anybody. It's like they're just respecting her too. I thought it was very.
Right. Yeah. She mentioned Caitlin Clark. She mentioned Angel Reese. So she's she's given, and she said that they were responsible. They were largely responsible for the success of the league or the popularity of the league growing recently, and that they weren't even being treated fairly.
Right. And then you have the so I think that's a good note on which to begin the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because you're really looking at the WNBA. They've been around since what 1990, 1994 maybe. Um, you know, and they're ready to take the next step, and they feel that they're being held back by a lack of vision, a lack of leadership. So I think Kathleen Engelbert probably may be near the end of her run. You
Right.
know,
As she probably should be.
yeah, because you need vision. And what did they say? Without vision, people perish. So the WNBA. But I am looking forward to it. But no, I will not be at MetLife Stadium uh, Sunday
Oh,
to see.
you're not coming. You're not going to see the Fields Dak Prescott showdown.
No, I'll watch it certainly, but I
Right.
will be watching the
Why? Because
Aces.
that's a Sunday game, Saturday, Sunday.
Well, game one for the WNBA finals is Friday,
Mhm.
and game two will be Sunday.
Okay, yeah. So there's
So
no.
I will definitely be there Sunday, but I'll be watching. You know, maybe I'll see your boy, the Oakland Raiders. I mean, the Las
G,
Vegas
G,
Raiders quarterback.
is Gino home?
You'll see
Does he have
Gino.
a home game?
Probably not.
Hmm.
I think he probably wants to get out of town. Gino's not been playing well.
Not really.
He's really not been playing well. Um, so maybe they're. I don't think they have a bye, but they probably wish they're somewhere else other than Las Vegas.
Right.
Uh, so yeah, WNBA playoffs and what other loose ends? Uh, the WNBA. I mean, the NBA season starts in 2 weeks, and that's enough of that. I mean, we're gonna.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, it's it's come out of nowhere. It is crazy that the NBA season starts in a couple of weeks. I saw Kevin Durant with the Houston Rockets now. I saw his whole press conference. It's like so it's the same thing every year, different team.
Right. How many teams has this been for Durant?
A
He
bunch,
was. How
a
many
bunch.
teams has he played on?
He's the new age superstar.
Oklahoma City, right?
Oklahoma City, Golden
Then Golden
State,
State, then
then Nets,
the
Brooklyn
Nets.
Nets, then Phoenix. So this is five. This
Boy,
is
this
Houston,
is 15. Okay.
15.
And he's got 3 rings.
Not 3 weeks.
Yep.
But now he joins up with Ime Udoka,
Yeah.
who's proven to be a very, very good coach.
He's always been a good coach.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He just.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, but yeah.
So we got that, and then and just the Knicks. This is the Knicks season. That's what I'm hearing from Knicks fans. I used to be a Knicks fan growing up, and somewhere along the line they lost me.
Now you're in Brooklyn. Can you honestly say with straight face you're a Brooklyn Nets fan?
No, I won't say it. I won't say it. It might be true, but I can't say it.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not. That's embarrassing because the Nets have nobody. You couldn't, Bill. You cannot name one player on the Nets right now.
No, you're right. I can't.
And I could barely name three.
Who's the coach?
The coach is Fernandez. He's a Spanish guy. He's an international coach. I mean, they had nothing last year, and he had them winning more games than they should have. So he looks like a good coach, but we'll see.
We'll see. Well, not a lot, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So the Jets, as I used to say, the trifecta: the Jets, the Mets, and the Nets. The Knicks had a
good run last year,
and now they'll feel with Halliburton out, with Tatum out. Maybe so. And I've heard some rumors that there's going to be some trade. I don't know who they're going to trade.
Well, Tatum's determined to play this year, from what I heard.
He may. Don't rush back, brother. That's all I can say.
Exactly.
Do not rush back. The Celtics will be here. They were here before you got there. They'll be after you leave. So, all right. Well, good, man. Any shout out to Napheesa Collier for calling out the WNBA leadership, the commissioner. Good job by you.
Yeah, you gotta love that. Well, I got the before we get out of here, I got the week 5 black quarterback rankings. Updated rankings.
Should we have some drum rolls? We have some music. All right.
Here we go. I'll start from the bottom. Remember, we're including our honorary brother Tua, so we actually have 17 guys to talk about.
Okay.
Number 17, Cam Ward, the rookie. It's been a rough ride as a rookie so far, even though I still like him. But I guess everybody has to go through this. Peyton Manning had a terrible first year, so there's that. He's 0-4. He has the worst QBR in the league. He has the second worst passer rating and the worst completion percentage. But 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, whatever. 16, Russell Wilson. We talked about him. He's actually 30th in QBR, Bill. He didn't really do much. 31st, sorry, in QBR
Wow.
in the league. 28th in passer rating in the league. 30th in completion percentage. He was not good when he was out there. 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Number 15, Bryce Young, also not having a good year. 27th in QBR. He's 1 and
Wow.
3. 29th in passer rating. 27th in completion percentage. 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Actually, at 14, bit of a surprise that he's ahead of those guys is Spencer Rattler, even though he's 0
Okay.
and 4, but he's 19th in QBR, 22nd in passer rating, 14th in completion percentage, 5 touchdowns, only 1 interception, 102 yards rushing. So he's actually been okay on a terrible team. So maybe Rattler might have a future. We'll see. Number 13, we just mentioned Geno Smith not having a good year at all, 1 and 3. He's 25th in QBR, 27th in passer rating, 22nd in completion percentage. He is throwing for 237 yards a game, which is 8th in the league, but he has 6 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. That's never good when you have more interceptions than touchdowns. And that's kind of his problem, right? He's kind of reckless throwing the
Yeah.
ball and hasn't been good this year after a pretty good year last year. Number 12, our brother, our honorary brother Tua, 1 and 3. He's really having a bad year, probably his worst year of his career. 28th in QBR, 18th in passer rating, 10th in completion percentage. He's always accurate. 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. At 11, I got Justin Fields. 0 and 3. That's the major problem. 0 and 3 as a starter. He's actually 18th in QBR, 11th in passer rating, 20th in completion percentage. Only throwing for about 157 yards a game, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So he's not throwing picks. But like we said before, they're not even, they try not to let him throw. And he has run for 178 yards and 3 touchdowns. Number 10, CJ Stroud, 1 and 3 on the season, 22nd in QBR, 21st in passer rating, 13th in completion percentage, throwing for 208 yards a game, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Not a great year so far. I got Jane Daniels, who's actually I just saw is coming back this week, so he's playing again, but he's only played 2 games. That's why he's so low at number 9. We'll see what he does when he gets back. Penix, Michael Penix Jr. is
Yeah.
number 8. He's 2 and 2. He had a great bounce back game last week after playing horribly the week.
Horrible.
Horribly the week prior. He comes back, was strong, and they got the victory in Atlanta last week. And overall, he's 17th in QBR, 26th in passer rating, 24th in completion percentage, but is throwing for about 230 yards a game, which is 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Number 7, Kyler Murray. He's 2 and 2. His numbers aren't great. He's 24th in QBR, 24th in passer rating, 15th completion percentage, not throwing for a bunch of yards, 185 yards a game, but does have 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions and 148 yards rushing. Number 6, Caleb Williams, actually having a pretty good
Yeah.
year. Number 6, he's 15th in QBR in the league, 14th in passer rating. Throwing for about 232 yards a game, 8 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, and has run for 110 yards and 1 touchdown. Number 5, Dak Prescott.
Dak.
He's making a comeback. He's 4th in QBR, 15th in passer rating, 3rd in completion percentage. He's throwing for 280 yards a game, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So Dak looking pretty good so far. Number 4, Jordan Love. He's 2-1-1. 13th in QBR, 3rd in passer rating, 8th in completion percentage, 250 yards a game, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. Pretty good numbers, even though when I look at Jordan Love, and tell me what you think. I mean, in terms of being like upper echelon, I feel like there's something missing there.
Yeah, a lot of people say that too. You
Mhm.
know, he was so laid back. You're right. There's something. It's like this. It's
Yeah.
it's kind of like watching paint dry or watching grass grow or something. But but the grass is the grass is good. The
Right.
paint goes on nicely. You
Right.
know,
Right.
but
Right.
it's like okay.
Yeah. There's some. It's like you don't have that feeling that he's just gonna like win a game for you.
Right,
You know.
exactly.
So, but the numbers are good, like you
But,
said.
but he's four, so
Yeah. Number three, Patrick Mahomes, 2-2, started off slow, but 2-2. Third in QBR in the league, 17th in passer rating, 26th in completion percentage.
wow.
That's interesting. Uh, but it's throwing for 235 yards a game. That's good for ninth in the league. 7 touchdowns, only 1 interception. He's actually run for 130 yards and 2 TDs,
Wow.
which is a lot for him. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. Even though he's 1-3, his numbers are just too good. Fifth in the league in QBR, first in the league passer rating, fifth in the league completion percentage, 217 yards a game, which is middle of the road, but 10 touchdowns, only 1 interception, and 166 yards rushing and 1 TD. And number one, this is I don't know what you think, but I got number one. I got to put Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. Now
I mean, I know it
no,
looks ugly sometimes. It does,
no,
granted.
Hurts is great. I mean, again, you talk about people just underrated,
Right.
under. And all this brother does is just win. He just wins. You know, and then he's playing with a knucklehead receiver. They're 4-0, and this guy AJ Brown is sending out these tweets about,
Cryptic
well,
tweets. You're 4-0. And then you got all these sports shows talking about what's wrong with the Eagles. They're 4-0. What are we talking about?
well, that's what we're talking about in the whole black quarterback thing. Here you got a guy who's been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years, won one, been the MVP, and everybody, well, yeah, but I mean, unbelievable. It's
It's
really
unbelievable. And it's not even like, okay, they're 4-0, which is the most important stat. But it's not like he's terrible anywhere else. He's ninth in QBR. He's 10th in passer rating. He's ninth in completion percentage. 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, and 171 yards rushing and 4 rushing touchdowns. So that's 9 touchdowns, no interceptions. So I don't know what you. I mean, obviously he could be a little prettier. He could have. They had quarters and halves that didn't look good, but when it's all said and done, he's getting it done.
right.
So
So I'm pulling for the Eagles and Hurts to go back to back. Yeah, he
yeah,
went back to back, but no,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, what's 2 in a row anyway? What
Right.
does that really
Everybody
mean?
do that. Pelton won. It's like, let's go back to George Washington. Oh, back in the day.
Right, right,
So
right.
yeah, well,
So,
good.
so
Okay.
those are the rankings right now. We'll reconvene and we'll give it a couple weeks to see what else happens, and then we'll come back and let you know.
All right. Well, it's always one of those. And next week you're going to be it'll be a surprise, but it flows into your up next theme
Yeah,
of showing us who's up and coming.
yeah,
So
black
we'll be
black
looking forward
black
to that.
quarterbacks up next. Black quarterbacks. So
Up next,
we'll see
black
who's.
quarterback.
So I gotta dig deep and do some research on
May
that
that
one.
be, I don't know if it'll be 17.
I mean, hey, they're coming from somewhere, Bill.
Yeah.
There's a pipeline out here.
Yeah.
I mean, even Lane Kiffin has a black quarterback.
And how's that happen?
Take that how you want it. But
Yeah.
but yeah. But before I get out of here, thanks to the listeners for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, we're live on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, all that. Keep following us on social media, or follow us on social media at BrosPod on Twitter, at BrosPod on Instagram, Bill Roden on Sports on Facebook. And we'll be back, at least by next week with we got, like you said, Bill, you're covering the WNBA finals, so we'll talk about that, and of course we'll talk about what's going on in the NFL, and by that point the NBA will be just around the corner.
Oh, well. You get exhausted just thinking about it. But we'll talk about it when we get there. All right, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm assuming you're tuning in. And we'll see you next week. And keep praying. See you.
Yeah. The real world is rough. It's rough in the real
I
world
know.
right now.
I know. This is a world of fantasy here. All right.